Just getting started here this morning now. It's a little after 3 o'clock Friday morning. Over in this bunk here is the haylage. It's third cut and haylage that we bring up from the ag bag. We bring it up ahead of time, get it loaded into place here, dumped into place, so that we can go to it quickly to load the mixer wagons. So what I'm loading now are there's 4 different batches on this load sheet here. I'm loading these top 2 loads here now, so gotta have 1,580 pounds on this mixer wagon for the fresh cows. This is the fresh cow load, and then the larger mixer wagon is the high lactating group. Just loaded the last bit of third cutting from the ag bag here onto the mixer wagons that I need. Now we're gonna go and load the first cut and haylage that these 2 loads require out of this bunk over here, which is bunk 1. We numbered these bunks as we built them. This was the first one, 1, 2, and then 3 we went right to left. And the 4th one was built out back, out behind these. So this is first cut and haylage from 2017. We fed the left side of this bunk last year, late summer. We had just gotten to the back of the bunk when we were finishing up corn. We needed another spot for a little more corn silage, so we ended up putting corn silage on the left hand side of this bunk. So that's why this bunk is loaded the way it is here. The corn silage is a conventional corn. We've got BMR corn in bunk 3 that's still covered over there. So we'll load this haylage up. After I get this haylage loaded on, I'll load the stuff that's in the commodity shed here. So I lack a little bit more first cut and haylage to go on that fresh cow load, which is go. Loading on the fresh cow load. That's a Supreme 900T mixer. That'll hold about 25,000 pounds. Altogether, the other mixer is a 1200T, and that holds about 30 to 32,000 pounds of dairy cow mix. Let's see here, I need just a little more, 200 more pounds. Okay, so I've got first cutting that I just loaded now on the both mixers, and the third cutting that came out of the ag bag was loaded on first. So both mixers have the haylage on them. We'll go down through the commodity shed and load everything that's in the commodity shed onto it here. Okay, so this is the protein mix here that I've got to load on onto both mixer wagons. 7,700 pounds is what that mixer scale should say. Okay, I don't have enough in the bucket for this other one, so we're just gonna dump it out, and we gotta go back for a little more here. That was just 1,200 pounds there, and I need another 1,700 pounds. So like I said, this is the protein mix here. I don't need quite that much. So I gotta dump a little more on the mixer, and I'll have the protein. Okay, we've got our protein mix on the mixer. Now we're gonna put some cottonseed on. This is the byproduct from cotton. It's just the seed itself that's left over. We've been feeding this for quite a few years here now. It's trucked in from the Carolinas. We get a load about every 10 days or so. We only need 400 or 500 pounds on each mixer wagon here, so we'll go ahead and get this dumped on there, and then we'll move along to cornmeal. Okay, cottonseed is loaded on both mixer wagons. Now we're going to load on cornmeal here. This cornmeal that we're getting ready to load into the bucket here is ground up shell corn. It's corn that's been combined, shelled, dried, stored, and then ground up into like a powder. The finer you can grind it up, the more the cow can utilize it. So it's ground up into a fine powder. We buy that from Genoa Commodities out of Genoa, New York. We get a load about every 4 days of that. Cornmeal is dumped on both mixer wagons. Now this is high moisture corn. This corn is coming right out of the silo that's out behind the commodity shed here. This is shell corn that was put in the silo at about 34 to 36% moisture. It was run through a roller mill on the way into the silo, and that's the only processing that has had to be done to it. The cornmeal, that's usually run through what's called a hammer mill. It's small pieces of like flat stock swinging on a shaft. They're about like that long, and there's several rows of them in a big drum, and the corn is dropped into that drum, and the hammers are beating the corn against a screen at the bottom of the drum, and it usually pounds it through like a 1/4 inch. I don't know what size screen they have to use for it. It's probably 3/16 or 1/4 inch. We run corn out of our harvest store through a hammer mill. We have to use, because we're putting 30% moisture corn through ours, we have to use like a 5/16 screen, because the corn's got enough moisture in it and it won't go through anything any smaller. And then this high moisture corn is run through a roller mill. There's 2 rolls that are real close together like that with like razor blade edges on them, and it runs the corn through, and it'll crack the corn so the cow can digest it. Okay, so I've got high moisture corn loaded onto both mixers. We're gonna park here, and I'm gonna start the PTO up on both of them to get them mixing while we're dumping the corn silage on. Both mixers are now mixing. I've got to dump the corn silage on now. Now there's two different piles of corn silage here that we bring up from the lower bunk so that we haven't got to travel so far with each bucket load. This is our BMR silage in this pile. And over in that other pile there is conventional, we call it conventional silage. It's just regular corn silage. This BMR is a brown mid-rib corn. It's a little more highly digestible than the regular corn silage here. So we'll go ahead and get this BMR loaded onto both mixers, and then I'll load conventional onto both of them. Then they'll be completely loaded and we can go and feed them off. That's the last bit of BMR that's going on the larger mixer wagon. Got BMR loaded on the smaller one. We're going to load up the conventional silage here, and then that'll finish out both loads, and then go and feed them off here. I can get about 5,000 pounds of corn silage on a bucket, 5,000 to 6,000. If I round it right up, I can get about 6,000 pounds on the bucket here. I only need like 3,400 pounds or so for this mixer, so I won't be dumping the whole bucket load, but the other load I need like 9,500 pounds or something like that. So I'll just let little bits of this fall off till I get the number I need. So that one's got the appropriate amount, so I'll dump this bucket out. I might be able to get this with this one in one big heaping bucket load. One heaped up bucket load should finish out that large load, I might have to go back for a little more. I can't quite get it all to go on. You have to go back for more, you have to go back for more, but okay, both mixers are loaded. We'll go feed these off. This is the fresh cow load. We'll go ahead and feed it off first. We're pulling in the barn that's in behind the parlor here. These first group of cows that I'm driving by are dry cows. The milk cows start here where this one group is empty. This is a fresh heifer group. I only need to leave them a little bit of feed here, just enough so that they can get into the headlocks. My brother's going to go through and do a herd health check on them. So he needs them locked in, need a little feed to get them into the headlocks. And then this is our fresh cow group here. And then we're coming up into the back of the parlor. Got fresh cows in a box stall on this left hand side here. Barn here has got kind of a dead end to the feed alley here, so we have to back out. I can't back in because I can't get enough off the mixer wagon to go into that one box stall section there. It's in behind the parlor, so I pull in, back out. I would have to back in. I'd have to back in or out either way. So this is the tail end of this first fresh cow load here. We've got a group over in the middle of this one barn. It's a fresh heifer group. They get the same mix that the fresh cows got. I've got about 9,500 pounds on the mixer wagon that we got to dump off to this middle group right here. Scrape the feed alleys out every morning. One of the guys does that right when I start loading the mixer wagons. He comes in and cleans out the feed alleys. We push it out to the end of the barn, stockpile it. We call it refusal feed. Nutritionists and the vet, they all say you want to have about 3 to 5% left over every day. 3 to 5% of your of the amount of feed that you put in front of the cow. That way you know that they had enough feed. All you can eat and then some. Alright, this mixer wagon's empty. Got the high lactating load on the other mixer wagon. And I'll feed this group here that we're looking at on the right hand side of the mixer. That's the high lactating group, and the one on the other, so it's everything that's left over on this side of the barn that I just fed on. Then I've got to load my next loads. I do a high lactating load, and then I do a lactating heifer load that goes to the other side of this barn that we just pulled out of. Got the fresh cow load dumped off and fed out. Now this one's the high lactating cow load here. Everybody's waiting for their feed here. I have to go in 2 different barns with this load, so I have to stretch the whole load out here. We've got 4 separate batches of feed. Well, there's 3 separate batches. So it takes loading these mixer wagons twice each to get feed in front of all the lactating cows, the milk cows, and then after we get enough feed in front of the milk cows, we'll feed dry cows and heifers, and we go back to put a little more feed in front of the milking groups here. So this group that's on the right hand side, they're a different group than the group on the left. The group on the left is a heifer group, and the nutritionist has got a special mix, not a special mix, but a different mix that we feed to them. Now we're going to pull out of this barn and feed the what we call the high lactating group over in barn 8 here. Burnberry's picking up a load of milk here. When this truck leaves, he'll have a full trailer load of milk. When he leaves, he comes empty and leaves full with this load. Barn is cut up in quarters. There's 6 different groups in here. 6 different groups that'll fit the loading area. That's why they're grouped that way. But there's only there's a one quarter of this barn is a heifer group, which is on right hand side past this crossover. Then these other 3 sections are the high lactating group that this load will be going to here. So I have to back up and feed off the other side. If I had a mixer wagon that went out on both sides, I could have fed this off at the same time, but we wanted a mixer wagon with a conveyor on it like we have on this one. We felt it fed out a little faster than the ones that have the just the drop doors on them. A little more moving parts. The weakest part of these mixers is the damn conveyor. The rest of this load will go off to this group that's on my left side, and then we'll start loading the heifer group, which is on our right here. That group on the other side of the feed alley there, or on the other side of the crossover that we just crossed over, they're into the parlor now. They were getting loaded into the loading area when we pulled in with that fresh cow load. They were just getting pushed into the parlor. Another 20 minutes, a half hour, they'll be done milking, and then this other group here on our left here will be getting loaded in. By about 8 o'clock this morning, they'll have this whole barn milked. Okay, this mixer is going to finish cleaning out here, and we'll load up the next. Okay, same drill. We're going to load up both these mixer wagons. Now the larger mixer wagon, I'm going to be loading the heifer group on, so we're going to be loading these two bottom batches now. We've got a 2,400 pound load going on the smaller mixer and a 30,000 pound load going on the larger one. So same thing, this is dirt cutting ag bag haylage, just like we loaded on the last two loads, the two loads that we had done previous to these two that I'm loading here now. Okay, we can pick up the rest of this high moisture corn that's in the back of this bay here, and I don't quite have enough for the next load, so I'm going to pick up what was run out yesterday, and I'll start running some more out. There. Yeah, I got a little more. Get out of here. We like to run enough out ahead of time so that if we have a problem with the auger or the unloader, we're not having to fix it when we're supposed to be getting feed in front of the cows. So now I'll go ahead and turn this guy on. A little pile to get on here. Now we raise the unloader up before we shut it off, so I gotta let it down a little bit. Alright, we'll peek around the corner here and see how it's going. It's just getting going good now. I get both these mixers mixing, and I'll load the corn silage in them. Alright, both of those loads are loaded. We'll go and dump off the upper load here. Let this unloader down a little bit. It's coming out nicely. We're going to shut the PTO off on this one, and we're going to feed the other one first this time. Okay, these heifers had to wait patiently. Lactating heifers, they're in their first lactation, but they've had to wait patiently while everybody else got their feed, and they had to wait for their load to get mixed up after the fact here. So I have to feed this whole side of this barn. We've got to go over into the fresh cow barn that's in behind the parlor with a little bit, and then over into the far barn, barn 8, with the rest of this feed. These guys will get another load of feed here later on. Okay, I've dumped off about 14,000 pounds of feed there. I've got 16,000 left on. We've got to put a couple thousand into a small group that's in behind the parlor, and then the rest of it will go into barn 8. Yeah, we just got this short little group here. This is the last of this load going into barn 8 here. Now all the milk cows are fed. Got that one other load to dump off, and then I got dry cows to load up after that. Okay, all the milk cows are fed. We'll get on to the dry cows now.